When you drive into Kandara in Murang'a County, nothing immediately tells you that this place is fighting a quiet battle. You see green hills, small farms, banana trees, coffee bushes. But talk to farmers long enough, and another story begins to emerge. A story about seasons that no longer behave, about crops that no longer respond, about hunger that arrived slowly and stayed. This podcast episode grows out of conversations convened by the Center for Inclusive Climate Change Adaptation for Sustainable Africa, ICASA, engaging stakeholders such as Slow Food Kenya in deep narratives on gender, climate change, and nutrition. These conversations focus on how climate change, gender, and nutrition intersect in people's daily lives and how communities can respond in ways that are inclusive and sustainable. My name is Steve Mokaya. This is the Nature Trail Podcast. In January 2026, I visited Murang'a County to understand how farmers in Kandara are responding to climate change through seeds, indigenous seeds. For many people here, things have been changing gradually with minimal effects being felt, but spiraled into unimaginable magnitudes 3 years ago. The rains delayed, then they disappeared. Maize dried up, beans failed. Granaries emptied. Peter Njuguna, who now leads the Kandara Community Seed Bank, remembers that very period clearly.
Sasa sisi tulianza kama miaka 3 iliyopita, lakini tulikuwa tumekuta wakulima wale wazee walikuwa wakifanya. Shida zile zilikuta ni mambo ya njaa. Umekuta hapa kama miaka 5 mvua haijafanya mzuri. Kama hapa tunafanyanga misimu miwili, una msimu unatokanga mwezi wa 10 mpaka mwezi wa 2, mwezi wa 4 mpaka mwezi wa 8. Unakuta hiyo misimu yote miwili mvua haijakomaa mzuri. Sasa kwa sababu ya kiangazi unakuta ile mahindi ya hybrid inaremewa kufanya watu watoshereke. Sasa kuna wakati kama wakati hii, isipokuwa ni mahindi tumepanda ile ya kienyeji, hii ingine ya hybrid haitavunwa. Na tena ile magonjwa iko kama bacteria fusarium, kuna kitu kama arborite. Hizo magonjwa, hizi mbegu za kisasa zinaremewa sana. Hata wadudu ambao kama ni stokobora, weevils, hizo zote hizo zinawalemea sana. Lakini hii ya kienyeji kama ni wadudu hawalemei, inaweza toboa.
That drought forced a difficult question onto the community. If the crops we depend on no longer grow, what do we do? Some farmers looked back to crops their grandparents planted, to seeds that had survived many bad seasons before. Rachel Muthoni was one of those farmers. Before the drought, she mostly planted hybrid beans. They promised high yields. They looked modern. They were recommended. Until they failed her. No level of serenading them with farm inputs could help. They just decided to die. And that is when the finality of the changing climate started hitting hard.
Wakati mvua ilikuwa ni mfupi, hiyo maharagwe ilikuwa na shida nyingi, imesikwa na ugonjwa, halafu kutoka zikiwa nzuri. Na ile ya zamani ilikuwa ukipanda inatoka kwa nguvu na ikazaa mazao mengi.
She still had a small section of indigenous beans, almost as an experiment. They survived. That moment changed her relationship with farming. For Rachel, indigenous seeds stopped being old-fashioned. They became security.
Mimi nilianza kupanda maharagwe wa ilimo na hiyo ingine kirosi. Na nilipanda na zilikuwa na mazao mengi sana. Hata wakati huu mimi nilikuwa nimetumia kupanda hizo, nikivuna ninaweka pahali, halafu nikarudisha kwenye 7.
As farmers began returning to traditional crops, another conversation grew alongside it about health. Many families here are worried about rising cases of diabetes, cancer, and high blood pressure. They connect these illnesses to processed foods and chemical farming. Peter Njuguna says this belief is shaping food choices.
Kwa hivi karibuni, wakati watu wameanza kutumia hizi mbegu za karibu za hybrid, tumeanza kupata magonjwa kama cancer, arthritis, diabetes, magonjwa yote ya kisukari na high blood pressure. Kutokana na madhara ile tumefanya. Hii mbegu ya asili haitumiangi dawa, ambapo tunatumianga tiba asili, tunawekaga mbolea, tunawekaga jivu, tunatengenezanga mbolea kutoka kwetu. Unakuta watu wengi sasa wameanza hawataki kutumia zile chakula ile ya kisasa, wanataka kutumia ile ya kiasili, kama ni mambo ya sukuma wiki, spinach na nyanya. Hizo sasa watu watumii hizo, wanataka kutumia managu, terere, saga, mlenda. Hizo ndio sasa watu wanatumia hizo za kienyeji kwa sababu ya matibabu, kwa sababu zile hybrid zinafanya tutumie grassofit, paraquat, madawa ambayo imeanza kudhuru wakulima wetu. Kwa sababu kama hapa hauwezi pita kama Boma Kumi haujapata mtu ambaye amegojeka ugonjwa wa sukari ama cancer ama arthritis.
For Regina Wanjiru, this return to indigenous farming feels familiar. She never really left it. She had just taken a detour of a false promise, a promise that almost led her to almost becoming a statistic in the list of hunger-hit communities. She has been growing traditional crops since 1987.
Mimi naitwa Regina Wanjiru na mimi nalimanga mahindi ile ya zamani na madisi ile ya zamani na sukuma wiki ile ya nalimanga na organic na duma mimi nilikuwa nayo. Wakati ule mimi nalimanga hiyo mbegu 1987 nilikuwa na crop rotate. Sehemu moja mimi napanda hiyo mbegu na mimi naonaka hiyo mbegu ilikuwa mzuri. Hata ukipeleka huko kwa machini ya unga ilikuwa na unga mzuri.
She learned from her grandmother, from watching, from doing farming with her in the shamba back in the 80s, from failing and trying again and again.
Wakati ule mimi nilikuwa kwa shule, nyanya yangu wakati huo wa kitambo ananionyesha hiyo kilimo ya mbegu hiyo, akanionyesha hiyo mireo, akanionyesha hiyo madisi ya kienyeji. So sisi wakati ule mimi nilikuwa mtu mkubwa, mimi nakumbuka hiyo kilimo.
Today she watches younger farmers rediscover what she always knew, that indigenous crops endure. They thrive under harshest of conditions. They are the lifeline farmers need.
Wakati ule kulikuwa na mvua mdogo, kidogo imezaa kidogo, lakini utatoa tu kandogo na lakini ilikuwa sawa. Hata mvua ikikuwa mdogo, hii itakuwa tu karibu kuzaa.
Out of these personal experiences, drought, failure, survival, a collective idea emerged. What if farmers pulled their seeds? What if no one had to start from zero again? That thinking gave birth to the Kandara Community Seed Bank. Here, farmers borrow seeds. After a harvest, they return double. No money changes hands, but trust does. The system has grown to serve over 1,000 farmers, most of them being women.
We have impacted around 1,000 farmers in average, and the seeds of diversity. So we have the indigenous maize, we have the indigenous beans, cowpeas, we have the sorghum, we have the millet. Different farmers access different seeds depending on their planting needs and also their farmers' preference. They get them for free, where farmers now get the seeds. Like if you get 1 kg, you'll bring back 2 kgs just as an interest. So if you borrow 1 kg, you'll also bring 1 kg extra as an interest, so that the next farmers and the community members can also get the seeds. But we have also seen a tendency where now farmers now they are storing their own seeds now to replicate for the other seasons.
Slow Food Kenya has been supporting the Kandara Community Seed Bank for the past 3 years. Overseeing this work is Francis Muya, the organization's Central Kenya Project Officer. Francis says that for Slow Food Kenya, protecting indigenous foods is not only about farming, it is about safeguarding biodiversity and strengthening local food systems.
Slow Food Kenya is a dedicated organization that helps in conservation of biodiversity. It includes food biodiversity and agroecology, where we promote agroecology, manage indigenous seeds, knowledge, and also conduct research. We also do education on healthy food choices and food safety, where we organize events to strengthen Cooks Alliance and also improve agroecology and food safety.
He worries that when indigenous seeds disappear, something deeper goes with them: knowledge, autonomy, resilience. That is why he emphasizes seed sovereignty.
Seeds are the source of life, source of development, and also source of food security to our great nation. Without seeds, we will not have enough food, and without enough food, we won't be a healthy nation. So seeds are very critical in this matter. And what we do with farmers is that we mobilize groups, train them on the issues to do with the seeds, and our focus area most of time, we try to educate to them what the importance of having farmer managed seed system. And one reason of farmer managed system is that it helps in building food sovereignty, and food sovereignty starts with seeds. So we make sure that farmers have access to reliable and affordable seeds, even in times of crisis or climate change.
Once a month, farmers gather in different parts of Murang'a. They compare harvests, share storage techniques, debate pests, exchange seeds. They argue, they laugh, and they learn.
In Murang'a, we have one community seed bank that's serving that county, the Kandara Community Seed Bank, and it is managed by farmers. The farmers are 50. They come from different groups. We usually have regular trainings. We try to bring on board the agroecology aspect, where now we narrow down to the key thematic areas, like, for example, we start from the seed, then production. In a month, we do once. Our trainings are done at the seed bank or at the community demo farms. Our trainings are streamlined to seed multiplication, seed mobilization, record keeping, storage, cleaning and sorting, and also now the storage perspective.
But seed saving in Kenya has not always been protected. In recent years, farmers have faced uncertainty due to proposed legal restrictions under CAP 324, which threatened traditional practices of saving, sharing, and selling indigenous seeds. Luckily, in November 2025, the High Court in Kenya declared unconstitutional sections of the seed law that prevented farmers from sharing and selling indigenous seeds. The law carried a heavy penalty since it stated that farmers in Kenya could face up to 2 years imprisonment and a fine of 1 million Kenya shillings for sharing seeds through their community seed banks. The court declared sections of the seed law that gave government officials powers to raid seed banks and seize seeds unconstitutional. Interestingly, the law was introduced in 2012 as a measure to curb growing sales of counterfeit seeds that were causing losses in the agricultural sector and gave sole seed trading rights to licensed companies. Although the policy was challenged and defeated in court, it created anxiety within farming communities. Francis says this experience revealed the importance of equipping farmers with legal knowledge about their rights.
What happened in the 324 policy was very punitive because it prevented farmers from selling, sharing, and also exchange of seeds. And the review was done. Some of the organizations, like-minded partners, also went to the court in supporting farmers so that the government can review the policy and give a leeway to farmers also to sell their own seeds, because you see the CAP 324 only gave the mandate to the commercial seeds, the merchants, to be the one now selling. But now you see farmers also want to get money out of their seeds. So that's why the farmers went to the court with the support and also with the guidance from the other organizations. The farmers won. The brief was done in December, so the farmers now have the right. So you see now it's the high time now we need to capacity build these farmers. We need to make them understand like what was happening, the freedom now they have in terms of exchange, multiplying, and also protecting their indigenous seeds from the manipulation or from erosion.
Peter Njuguna believes that the deep, localized knowledge held by groups like the Kandara Community Seed Bank is an asset that the government should capitalize on. By integrating these grassroots insights, the state can better uphold food security, promote nutrition, and scale up proven localized ways of dealing with climate change.
Serikali zinaweza patia vikundi kama sisi tunafanya ruzuku ama pesa za kusaidia ili tufikishe kule wakulima wale wengine, kwa sababu tunaweza pigana na njaa, magonjwa, umasikini, kwa sababu watu watakuwa wakipata pesa ya kurudisha kama karo ya kurudisha watoto shule na changamoto zile zingine za mahitaji.
In Kandara, seeds now carry more than genetic material. They carry memories of drought, of hunger, of failure, of adaptation. They carry women's labor, grandmother's wisdom, communal trust. Here, farmers are saving seeds because they have watched crops fail. They have watched hunger arrive quietly. They have watched systems promise help and arrive late. So, they chose something older, something they can touch, something they can control, their seeds. For the Nature Trail podcast, I'm Steve Mokaya. Thank you for walking this trail with me. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.